I'm gonna guess that Bernard's house key is 31. First stop is Andrew's house. I don't have a key to Dorothy's house, so I'll go to Silver Lake 31 after that. Actually, now that I think about it, there is... So far, we've only had one 5-digit number and one 6-digit number. And both of them are for stuff that's in the manor? This was Dorothy's house, right? Yeah. Okay, Black Pine 7. That is the one that's on the waterfront. Yeah, here it is. Well, that key's dealt with. Door's jammed. Yeah, considering that there was a fire here, I would doubt that they would, like, still have stuff, like, just sitting around. That could have been potentially very dangerous. Why did I... Again, I guess the fire started in here. Considering how, destroyed this room looks compared to, the rest of the house, I'm gonna guess that the fire started in here. Oh, that's just a weird texture thing. That's like it. Okay. Whiskey flask. Premium rums. Okay. Oh, no. Dear Daniel. I remember reading a Daniel name somewhere, but I don't remember where. Dear Daniel, have you been, my son? It has been a while since I last wrote to you. I'm getting better now. Dr. Johnson has assured me that I am recovering well, and I'm now working full-time at the mansion. Oh, okay. Daniel is Andrew's son. Got it. I'm now working full-time at the mansion. The hallucinations are gone. There are just 2 more checkups to do, and I'll be done with rehab. How's Mom doing? Is she still working at the restaurant? I hope that she spends enough time with you. I don't blame her for leaving, and I wish I could be there for you. I'm sorry things turned out this way. Please forgive me. I've been saving my money and plan to... Okay. Yeah, considering that this is in the burned out room and the safe was left open, it looks like the only thing they left was the whiskey flask. I'm gonna guess whatever was in there was taken. Because why would they need a sentimental note or or an empty flask? So something was burned on this vertex. Was it came from the ceiling? And then here's Andrew Reed's diary. Okay. I hate to admit it, but Scott is a good kid. He's hardworking, takes care of me when I'm drunk, and he is a man of his word. I'm starting to like him. Actually, let me write that down. Did I see her again? How can that be? Why doesn't the medication work anymore? Did he give me cheap pills? No, that can't be. He's as guilty as I am. We're all in it together. He cannot abandon me, they cannot abandon me. Ever since Scott asked about her, I've started to see Sophia again. Why did he have to mention her? I need more pills. I think I'm going crazy. Oh Lord, I know I am a sinner. I realize it now. That is why I'm going crazy. I know that nothing I do will bring her back. I pray that our sins do not pass down to our children. Please forgive us for what we have done. This was in August of 29. And then all the medication. Oh, this is the only thing that we have about 1994. And I'm gonna guess, since we don't see Andrew after this, that gonna guess that he was consumed by the fire. Okay. Now besides just unlocking the Bernard's door, like that's basically everything I know. I basically stopped at around here because I realized that I really wanted to start recording this. The only other thing that I know is that Sophia is still here. And much like the other one, when I look away, she's gone. So, I'm gonna just connect the dot that I connected to a while ago, like when I was first playing. That Sophia is this ghost character, and so far we have seen her in 2 locations. There is a chance that it's not a ghost, but we've seen her in 2 locations. We saw her outside of Andrew's house, which he makes note that he sees her, and behind the garden at the manor where Andrew worked. I don't think, and again, this is why I brought up a ghost earlier, because I think this is gonna be like the funniest thing if this turns out to not be true. I have a feeling that this ghost is a red herring. And I think, is there some kind of latch or thing that I can open? And it didn't say, like, opens from the other side. So I'm gonna make a bold assumption that Sophia the ghost is actually a red herring. The only 2 places that we've seen Sophia so far has been places that Andrew hung around. I have a feeling that Sophia the ghost is only haunting Andrew. Now, again, I only have like 2 locations. If we see more ghosts, I will have a confirmation on that. But you know what? That actually does lead pretty well into me investigating the graveyard. Because if there would be an additional ghost sighting, it would probably be here in the graveyard, you know? Sorry, I could not deal with that dithering graphics right there. Like, I just couldn't handle it anymore. My computer's gonna overheat, and this video might run a little bit worse, but, oh well. This has already been unlocked. Interesting. Oh, that's where the door's gonna swing. No wonder why I can't walk there. Okay. Raymond Brown died in 1984. So he held on pretty long with that, like, medical stuff. Like, that was for, like, a whole year of his heart not working. Henry Johnson, that's the doctor. Wanda Tyler, she died of cancer in 1996. So the year after all of this goes down, Wanda Tyler dies. Okay. Henry Johnson dies before Gary Roberts. Did we actually have a Gary? I don't know why I'm checking, but it felt like that there was a Gary somewhere. Well, 1989, so he can't possibly have done it. Christopher Burke. Here lies a man whose wisdom flowed from rivers. 1984. Yeah, these all have epitaphs on them. Magdalene Roberts. So this must have been Charles's mother. Yeah. Today's mom's death anniversary has been 18 years. Yeah. Now, I don't want to say that symbolism goes hard a lot of the times, but we have all of these Timothy Sanders. That was the... No, that was Timothy Scott. Different character. Andrew Reed. Yeah. Dies in 1995. Okay, so Andrew Reed dies sometime sometime before the murder, I would guess. But yeah, the symbolism of the rich elite woman in her own private little area, sequestered from the rest of the townsfolk, is very known. Which begs the question as to who is in these graves. I can't even look at them because they're all faced away from me. Ian Goldberg, Sarah Goldberg, Trisha Roberts. Oh. Yeah. So I guess Trisha never recovered. I don't know why I was checking around for the key to be somewhere on her grave. Vivian Roberts died a little bit earlier. Susie Whitman, Pamela Fields, John Hopkins, Victoria Hopkins. In loving memory of Jesse Elliott in 1990. This one has a different format than all the other ones. It makes me think that this might actually be a real gravestone for an actual person. I don't know. Philip Young, Calvin Bennett, Marissa Young. 1997. Scott Brooks. Lists his day. Appears to be the only one that has his actual day listed. Now, I'm not gonna call them out by, okay, I'm gonna have to call them out. So, one of the funnier things about this sort of like mystery fiction is that you have to put certain things in certain places where it's applicable. So this date, it means that no one was around to record the date at any other time except for this. So this is the only way that they would have been able to do that. And then finally, an unmarked grave, which I'm going to guess is the grave of Sophia. Maybe. I have a sneaking suspicion that that is her grave, since that is the sort of like vibe of a ghost story where it's like all of these people have loving graves with epitaphs, and then the single solitary handmade grave is for the important ghost character. I'm also, like I said, going off the idea that she might actually just be a red herring in total, so that I would think that that gravesite is for her. Okay, let's go to Bernard's house first, since that's the one that I've been to. Now I just need to find Silver Lake. 41, 43. Okay, there we go. No, I don't want to view it. Oh, right. This is Wanda's house. Oh well. I guess we're at Wanda's house right now. This place still has power. Help navigate through the maze to uncover the secret historical item. Wait. Oh. Okay. Okay, so the reason why I was kind of like weirded out was because that's the generic wine bottle model that this game has been using. And I'm like, wait, did Wanda take the bottles of Da Vinci from the house? I'm like, no. No. Because we actually know where they are. They're at the inn. This place is also half packed up. Actually, now that I think about it, this is a lot like the, unmarked VHS tapes. New and Old London, Volume 4? Uh, hmm. It is broken. I need a tool to fix this. Okay, putting that under keyholes. I'm gonna just list that as tool needed, since it doesn't really need a key. I don't know why, but I keep expecting a guy to just be around the corner and just going, "What are you doing at my house?" What is... Thank you, Wanda, for your hard work. Vivian. Oh. This was a bag that she was never able to use, because she was at the hospital the whole time. Vivian. No. This is, Wanda Journal, 1974. Derek turned 4 today. Vivian organized a small party for him. I really appreciate what she has done for us. After blowing out the birthday candles, I asked him what he wished for, and he said, I wish to see Papa. I did not know what to say to him. I could not tell him that his father left us. Vivian is being hospitalized for mental instability. In the 70s? Dorothy has asked me to take care of Vivian while she remains at the hospital. Okay, when did the coal mining accident happen? I'll get back to that in a bit. I wonder how Vivian must be feeling right now, knowing that she might not be able to conceive anymore. Magdalene wants a boy to continue the family line. Not being able to have children anymore will be devastating for Vivian. I pity her. So, in the same year, she finds out that she can't conceive anymore. The month after Trisha was born. I just can't stand Sophia. She's not that pretty. Just barely a year working here, and the others have already are serving her hand and foot. She's just here to take advantage of the Roberts family. I don't trust her. I wish she would just disappear. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, I need to know a very important piece of information. June. Yeah. 20 years ago in March. In October. Okay. So, where did we get the information about him running for mayor? There we go. Running for mayor, some might consider this partnership to be solely for the benefit of his status. Okay. And of course, just to double check, 1973, 1974. So this must be Derek's room. Oh, he uses the graphing paper stuff that I use. Trisha visited me again, 1995. Ever since Scott was fired and was told not to see Trisha anymore, she had been visiting me quite often. Not only is she angry at Vivian, she's also annoyed with Scott, saying that Scott is avoiding her. I visited Mom today. Her cancer has relapsed. After her tumor disappeared 2 years ago, no one expected it to return again, especially this quickly. Mom looked fine and seemed to be getting used to the hospital visits. Dr. Johnson said that chemotherapy sessions are needed due to the late-stage cancer, and that she would need my support more than ever. Upon leaving, I saw Scott talking with Dr. Johnson. This is June of that year. They look serious. I wonder if Scott found a new job after being fired. Dr. Johnson's body was found near Cherry Creek Lake today. The police came and interviewed Vivian. Apparently, she was seen with Dr. Johnson a lot. Vivian was heard with her voice raised at the police during the interview. Trish got frightened and locked herself in her room. I don't know what's going on. Yeah. The only reason the police would show up is not because that it's their family doctor. It's because they suspect someone from the house. Police came to my house to interview me again about the death of Dr. Johnson. I'm so tired of all that has happened recently. And that is in July 15th. October 27th. Scott came back with Father Matthew today. Their lawyer came too. Reporters were waiting at the church asking why they would allow a killer back to Painscreek. Trisha came back from the hospital and was desperate to see Scott. When Charles and Bernard stopped her, she broke down in tears. What can I do? Scott and Trisha died at around the same time. That is my only thought right now. Derek Tyler. There you go. 1990. We went cycling today. Scott said that he can ride faster than me. Of course, that wasn't true. So we had a competition and Trisha was our referee. We set the goal line to be the fence in front of the river. Scott didn't brake, he pedaled harder as he approached the goal. I yelled at him to stop, but he didn't listen. By the time we crossed the line, it was too late. The brakes did not stop him in time, and his bike hit the fence and he was launched into the air, landing on the rocks by the river bank. I ran to him and there was some blood coming from his head and scratches all over his arms and legs. Tricia came up to him and tended to his wounds. He seemed to be sobbing. Even though Scott was the one bleeding, I think I'm hurting more than him. While cleaning the garage, Charles approached and asked if I would like to be his chauffeur. He said that his current driver wants to spend more time with his grandchildren and planning to retire. I have by the end of the week to decide. It's a good opportunity. I'd like to get a raise in salary and I'd get to travel around the county. I think I'll say yes. Trisha came by today and suggested that we make our very own time capsule before I start my new job. That was a good idea, so we buried the box near a big stone. Near a big stone in the cemetery. Before leaving, we made a promise to each other that we will open it up in 10 years. So in the year 2000, on April 1st. Now, I'm gonna guess that that spot in the cemetery near a big stone is in the locked off part, so I don't access it too soon. I had a chance to walk around New York today. As I went into a bookstore, I remember how much Trisha loved notebooks. There was one that was really cute and a bit expensive, but I think she will like it. I should surprise her by giving her the notebook on her birthday. Didn't expect to be traveling this much as a driver. On one hand, I miss my mom. On the other hand, I get to stay in nice hotels. I guess it's not a bad deal. Charles treats me very well. He even gives me extra allowances on these trips. Maybe we'll get something nice for mom next time. We went hunting near the river. According to Scott, there is a nest in the drain hole that sometimes has eggs. I told them that it might be dangerous, but he assured me that it would be fine. So off we went. Sure enough, there were eggs. I didn't know what eggs they were, but I decided to stray a bit farther away. Scott started collecting them when I noticed something moving. Trisha was able to shout out that it was a snake, and I stood there frozen, not knowing what to do. Scott turned and saw the snake, and then spread his arms out and slowly walked backwards. Trisha was behind him, He extended his right hand with the stick towards the snake and slowly placed the bag of eggs on the floor with his left hand. When he reached me, he grabbed my arm and said run, and we all ran screaming our lungs out. I think that was the fastest I ever ran in my life. Not near the hunting. Okay. I miss the old days when it was Trisha, Scott, and myself hunting in the back of the woods, playing by the lake. So they're all the way down by the lake. Okay. It's not that I don't appreciate what Charles has given to us, such as the house we live in and our jobs. I just miss the time when we were young and carefree. We would go anywhere and nothing would stop us. I miss Trisha. December 23rd, 1990. Why doesn't she realize that I like her? The fact that this is in Christmas season, something happened in the 90s on Christmas. Okay, I think that's the that isn't the last journal? Dear Father, how's everything going? So Derek has a typewriter he uses to make letters. Oh, I think that's just a weird texture thing. Okay, so I didn't get a notification that that was the last, yeah. Yeah, I didn't get a notification that that was the last, Derek journal, so I'm guessing he has one more stored away in the manor, possibly inside the garage. I think that might be everything. Okay, so what have we learned so far? Sophia used to work for the manor. And that Andrew had been seeing her ghost for a while. Presumably, whatever happened to her still haunts him. Is this 31? Yep, there we go. Okay, so that's all but one of the houses that could be unlocked. Trisha has the key to the hunting cabin in her room. The key to the photo lab is with Mrs. Patterson. The key to Dorothy's house is still unknown. And there's a key needed to get into Trisha's room at the hospital. Okay, Bernard, what's in your house? This house still looks fully furnished, so... I'm gonna guess that Bernard is still around. Yeah, he's also moving out, but it's just... that this is in a little bit better... in a better state. Vivian Roberts was well known for her success as a businesswoman in the 20th century. What most people did not know is that her seemingly overnight success was a 30-year journey that defined everything that defied everything that she was told to believe in. Vivian was the first and only person in our family to graduate college. By her mid-20s, she left a highly paying job to start a controversial company. And then she met her husband, Charles Roberts, with whom she dedicated her life. She helped transform the Roberts family business and supported Charles during his mayoral election in the mid-70s. She also started the Roberts Relief Foundation for the poor and inundated medical research programs for the sick. Initiated? Oh, she started the foundation for the poor and initiated medical research. There we go. Which resulted in Painscreek Community Hospital becoming one of the best rehab centers for the elderly in the nation. This is the story of a young woman who came from a humble beginning and became the most respected and loved person in the town of Painscreek. Okay. Doesn't say what date that was published in, but I'm gonna guess that it might be a posthumous story. No, they would mention her death if Yeah, they would mention her death on the back of the box if it's relating to her death, but like makes me think that it was released like in the early 90s then, which means 30 years before that would have been the 60s. Let me just write that down. Okay, I don't know what this controversial business. Okay, so the case is like super locked and I can't open it. Has a gun in it. Cool. A knife is missing from the case. It looks to be a military issued knife. The axe display cabinet is shattered. There's another long rifle on the wall. Hmm. Oh. This is a painting of the French Revolution. I think that's the French countryside. Display of military badges above an American flag. Hmm. A bloodstained wood panel. I need a tool to open this. Okay. Man, Bernard, you sure have a lot of locked things in your house. What type of combination does it need? 4-digit? Okay. Huh, Bernard's journal. 2 weeks ago, 1994, Scott came to me and asked about Sophia. I was surprised he knew about someone who used to work here 20 years ago. I told him that she was once a maid that worked here, but after a few years she decided to leave the village. Today, I commented about the conversation to Vivian. She asked if Scott had said or asked anything since then. I could see she felt uneasy. She told me to keep an eye on him. I find all this very unsettling. Yeah, I would too. um, okay, I'm gonna wait. Derek does not seem too willing to drive for Vivian. I don't think a 5-day trip is that long. Charles often had trips longer than that, and Derek never seemed to mind them. Now that I think about it, Derek is unusually quiet when Vivian is around. He doesn't even look at her, like he's avoiding her, and I wonder why. I've noticed Vivian has been getting increasingly paranoid whenever she sees Scott, to the point of being upset by his presence. She asked Charles to have someone replace Scott, but Charles kept him. He likes the boy. Maybe those hunting trips really bonded them. It's Dad's death anniversary today. Can't believe it's already been more than 2 decades. So, 74. Visited his grave in the morning, his tombstone full of fallen leaves. Looks like autumn has started. Mom's tombstone is covered with leaves too. I read today's newspaper and updated him on the things that happened here recently. As I sat there talking, I wondered if he could hear me. Will I spend the rest of my life serving Charles and Vivian until I die? What will people remember me for? I saw Scott and Trisha talking today. They looked happy. I almost envy them. I think my chance at ever having a relationship with someone is over. What would my life be if I had accepted Angela? I don't think we would have been happy. She wasn't my type anyhow. Who is my type then? And they crossed out Vivian and said, I don't know. Okay, Scott. Oh. Aunt Celia's apartment code. Study room. Locked desk hint. Subtract the yellow darts points from the red darts total. And then an AOL password. So if we ever find a computer, we'll just put that in. When the player has thrown their 3 dots, their score is added up. The total is then subtracted from the original 501 amount to create their final value. The lowest score is the winner. The inner bullseye is 50 points. Then it's sitting on a triple ring. Wait, is that a double ring or is that a triple ring? The double rings are on the outside. Okay. No, it's 110 minus 9, which is... Nope. Maybe there is a second... Oh. There's a... Where would there be more dartboards? I think that there's one in the manor, and there might be one in the inn, but I don't think I saw one at the inn. But Nord actually does live pretty close to the house now that I think about it. Four 7206. Seven 206. Nope. I guess that's the something else. Oh, there you go. Okay. I was about to sit down on the couch like it was Bethesda game, but like, let me just go over some of the stuff. Bernard Hopkins. Yeah, I remember Hopkins as a name that was on the tombstones. So that was his parents that were there. Okay. Okay, so this is the 1994, a year that we don't know too much about right now. 2 weeks ago, that would be the end of 1993, so. When did Andrew Reed's medication stop working? June. I wonder if these okay, so this is the thread that I'm connecting right now. So, I'm going off of the assumption that Sophia is specifically haunting Andrew and only wants to be around Andrew as a person or places that he's been. Also, I should probably move Bernard to important characters. Yeah, so Wanda Tyler used to work here until something happened. She then got cancer and was stuck in the hospital for a while. And then Vivian tries to get closer to Derek. Scott approaches Bernard with a question about someone that used to work there, who was really close to Andrew. Probably because he started helping out Andrew a little bit more. No, that came after. Okay, so after mentioning Sophia, Vivian gets cagey. Vivian, being someone who partially owns the hospital, Andrew suddenly stops getting good medication, starts seeing Sophia again. After that, his house burns down and he dies a few months later. Maybe around the same point. He also apparently is a fan of the occult, based off of the stuff in there. What was the 6-digit lock? Aunt Celia. 1 second. Okay, I just wanted to put that in a few times just to see. Okay, so the final spot that we have yet to look for, that we have yet to look at is the church. It's only been like a 3-hour recording session, so I'm probably gonna just pause for now. So this is now like my 3rd recording session. I'm pretty sure there's also a hospital map that I just haven't gotten. I'm not sure where it is. But it would make sense that since it's like one of the larger structures in the game that it's that there would also be a map. Also weird that we don't have a map for the first floor. You know? This is like day 3 of me trying to record this whole thing. My computer is overheating because of the heat, and I have to record at like 2 in the morning to even make sure that I can comfortably do this. But yeah, I think the one and only place that we haven't fully explored at this point. Do we have any other keys? Yeah, we have the AOL password, we have the key card to the hospital, which we can't get into because the power's off. With the desk password we can't do anything with, so I guess we just have the church. Which, you know, is fair. It seems like we're being funneled to the church anyway. Don't know why I went the long way around, but hey. You know, one of the things that I feel got oversold on me when I was, hit like 2 loading screens and my GPU like freaked out for a second, was one of the things that they really tried to sell to me is that there's a lot of places that you can go into. Oh. I guess there we go. Okay. Yeah, one of the things that I feel like was sold to me about this game was its open world nature. And I feel like with how many of these buildings you just can't go into, that some of that is a little diminished. That side door is locked, but there's no key to it, so I guess it's just like a go around the other way type thing. Let me... Yeah, I feel like the one thing that we don't really have too much information of right now is that we have a lot of information on, you know, the family, but we don't have too much information on Scott, and he's supposed to be the Holy Bible. That he's supposed to be like the main suspect. We don't really have too much on him. Church will be closed for the funeral service of Andrew Reed, June 1995. Interesting. So he did die in June. We're gonna need to start, putting, like, specific days. Handyman, call Scott. Oliver's photography. There's a phone number. 5 Walnut. Yep. No smoking sign. Huh. 1 second. Okay, I thought that maybe, like, their discussion would, like, line up somehow to, Vivian's body is moved in front of the house before 7 a.m. is found a little bit after that. And I'm guessing what happened is that he can't use Sunday service at 8 a.m. as like an excuse for like where he is. I guess that's interesting. But yeah, we're gonna have to start putting specific days. Andrew Reed died on the 19th. June 11th. So her birthday is on the 12th. Andrew died 7 days later. Or at least the funeral for his will be a few days later. And then the day of her birthday, Dr. Johnson is dead. Interesting. I don't think I ever actually put the dots on that. It is kind of an odd stretch. Where it's like, maybe not. We don't really have much about when Andrew died. I have a sneaking suspicion that he died on her birthday. Oh. June 7th. Oh. Okay. So he actually died before it. Wait. 1 second. Yeah, it feels kind of weird that Andrew dies and no one really cares. Yeah, all of the stuff for Wanda Tyler is after Vivian's death. But it's really fascinating that no one really talks about Andrew's death. It almost feels like that he is such an afterthought. I mean, like, we barely even, like, got information about Andrew to know, like, what he did around the house up until now. Heather? Oh, no. Was Heather the other name of the person who, like, does John, Heather, and Eliza? I'm just trying to keep track of, like, people that I've seen write articles. It could just be that, like... Now, I'm pretty sure that that's, like, a red herring and I don't need to worry about that, like, at all. But for some reason, I just have this weird feeling, like, at the back of my mind, that one of the writers is going to come important, and if we don't catch their name, we might not catch it in time. At around 11:25 p.m. last night, a fire broke out on 7 Black Pine Road, Painscreek. Andrew Reed, the owner of the house, was found deceased with third-degree burns from head to toe. He was seated on the couch in the living room next to the fireplace when the fire likely started. The cause of the fire had not yet been determined, but the sight of alcoholic bottles on the floor suggests that the carpet may have been soaked and helped increase whatever set the incident off. According to the possible witnesses, Andrew was seen drunk last night when he was leaving Anne's Courtyard Inn and Suites. Police found bottles of empty vodka in the living room next to the fireplace. No foul play is detected at this moment. Andrew Reed, a gardener and handyman for the Roberts family, is for more than 2 decades has a wife and son who. No, it's not the diary. It's with the Daniel. So Daniel is his son, and we don't have much on the mom. Oh, I just had a really bad thought. I'm gonna say it now, and I'm going to be proven wrong. But this is where my mindset is right now. Sophia is Daniel's mom, but not his wife. And Andrew is estranged from Daniel, and in a moment of weakness writes a letter to him, who Daniel might also be dead. And he's writing to Daniel wondering how his mom is doing, who is Sophia, who is the ghost. Like, that is where my instant, like, brain started working towards, and I'm probably gonna be like, is where my mind instantly went to, and I'm pretty sure that that's gonna be wrong. Hey, that's the door outside I can get through. I will stay at the cabin tonight. I do not need dinner, Scott. I just realized this note is from Scott, which means this church might not have been touched since his death. That's a bit interesting. Church storage, first floor. And I know for a fact that it's also not liking the fact that I'm recording stuff, but hey. Locked with no way to access it. That banister looked weird. Okay, I'm guessing that this is Scott's room. If we're gonna find any information on Scott, it's gonna be from this room. Nope. May 3rd, 1985. Some dates are marked on the calendar. September 1993. Okay, so I need to know two things. So he moves out on the 4th, but then leaves a bunch of his stuff. Can I not? Is that not something I could read? Weird. Bunch of files. Oh. May 3rd, 1995. There we go. Father Matthew picked me up from the orphanage today. He said I'll be staying with him for now. I could call him Dad if that's okay with me. On Monday, he will bring me to sign something. He says that after signing, my name is not just Scott, but Scott Brooks. I'm so glad that I now have a home. Father Matthew brought me to the attic today. So many wooden toys, and he made them all himself. He asked me to choose one that I liked. I chose the toy plane. It looked cool, and he said that he could teach me carpentry when I was a bit older. He even made a secret space for me in my room so that I could put my special treasures inside. I love Father Matthew. The older boys are always bullying me. They called me a bastard child and a weirdo. They said that that's why my parents didn't want me. What does that word mean? Uh, that's sad. Father Matthew says I should be patient, but they threw stones at me. Father Matthew cleaned my wounds and it's painful. Father Matthew told me to forgive and forget. He said that they don't know what they're doing. I like Father Matthew, but I hate the boys. Trisha defended me today. Boys walked away, and she said that her dad is going to catch them and put them in jail. I want to be like Trisha's father. I want to be the next Charles Roberts. That way no one will bully me. Derek is always there whenever Trisha invites me to play. He's 5 years older than me. He's like her bodyguard or something like that. And he's really good at drawing. He gave me one of his drawings today. He says that he only gives drawings to friends. I wish I could draw like him. Maybe I can make a wooden toy car for his next birthday. Fascinating. Okay, first off, there's a crawl space. There's a hidden spot in his room so we could hide stuff. I thought that those wooden rivets right there were buttons. But yeah, until the game tells me, there's no way I'm gonna know where that secret hiding spot is. Okay, bathroom. Nothing in here. Okay, this is Father Matthew's office. Father Calvin. That must be Matthew's. Final court appearance. Public baptism. Scott returns to Painscreek. So he has his final court appearance on the 12th and then returns on the 27th. That's relatively fascinating. There is a lock on this. Is it a... Yep, it's a 4-digit combination. Scott Brooks pleads not guilty to killing ex-mayor's wife, Vivian Roberts. Main murder suspect denies killing a former employer. It doesn't say a date. Scott Brooks, the adopted son of Father Matthew Brooks of Painscreek Trinity Church, pled not guilty in court yesterday. According to Scott, he met with Vivian in the woods that night, but went home after the meeting and did not step out of his cabin for a few days. Yeah, we saw a note about that. When he left her, Vivian was still alive. When asked why he met with Vivian, Scott's answer was that they met to discuss about personal matters. It was not only between the two of, and it was only between the two of them. Scott denied further questioning, stating that he has nothing to do with Vivian's murder. That whoever killed Vivian must have committed the crime after he left. As to why Scott was at his cabin for days after Vivian was killed, Scott explained that he did not even know that Vivian had been murdered. Staying at the cabin is just something he had always done, and he feels at ease while at home. Scott is currently detained in the county jail. No bail has been set for his release at this point. Wait. I returned the tools back to the storage room. Oh, okay, so I guess this is the storage key. Is it? Photo of Matthew and Scott from years ago. Yeah, now that I look at them, those photos definitely look AI generated. But not like, oh, I just said like person into this. Like, I'm talking about, like, this person does not exist type stuff, where it's like, they ask to, like, make a person. Okay. Upstairs room. I'm guessing that's the path to the attic, then. Oh. Okay, so... Really, I can't open the center door? Huh. I can't even, like, interact with it. Oh, that is a super small lock. And 6 digits. This one's also 6 digits. I could attempt to brute force it, but... I don't think the game wants me to brute force, like, any of these, digital locks. But what I will do is I will try this... Nope. Nope. Thought I might as well try. Scott's things. With a lock. Oh. An old-fashioned Slim Jim. So is that lock. Slim Jim has been acquired. I need to do 2 things, and both of them involve me going back to the inn, and then I could finally sit down, put all 3 of these recording sessions into my editor and like start doing that. This video is supposed to just be Act 1, and I was highly debating turning this into like 2 or 3 episodes. Joshua Taylor went missing November 1989. So the very tail end of 1989. Okay. Yeah, one of the things that I was interested in was whether or not Joshua went missing and then Scott was adopted. But it looks like that's not the case. And they put Joshua going missing so far into the future that I did not keep track of how many cars there were. There's one in front of the... We might as well just check all of them just in case, but I'm pretty sure that there's going to be nothing in them besides the one we have to actually open. And we can't use it on gates. Yep, doesn't look like there's anything in there. I'm actually kind of suspicious about how many cars are actually inside this town. Because I'm going to guess that because everything is literally within walking distance, that not many people who grew up in this town actually own cars. You know, I would guess the only people that actually own cars are going to be more well-off people that travel outside the city to work. And of course, guests. You know, I don't think I mentioned this yet, but this town is oddly peaceful. And that's not sitting well with me. Okay, so, put this into my shoes. I am vaguely agoraphobic, meaning that I don't really have a, I can't really handle large crowds. I can't really handle, like, large open areas that much. But the one thing that makes me really worried is large open areas with nothing in it. And seeing this small town, you know, with no one in it, makes me worried that there's someone else here. And again, we've seen the ghost, you know. We know that there is a ghost here. That ghost, which I'm still claiming to be a red herring, that ghost gives me the feeling that there might be someone else here. Okay, just checking. I think that would be really fun if we could use the Slim Jim to open every single door with a key by brute force. I'm just like, I don't have a key for this. And I just slip the Slim Jim into it and just like rip the door apart. It's not really what that's for though. So I'll look this side of the door first. Okay. Did I actually put down... No, I didn't actually write down the fact that we need to unlock these car, you know? To Private Investigator Steve Moss, 1997. Hmm? One second. Something was worrying me now. Yeah, March 13th, a week later, he comes into town. 2 weeks after that, he goes missing. To Private Investigator Steve Moss, I came across your name through a close friend of mine. She highly recommended you, saying that you are a person of integrity and very reliable investigator. So I'd like you to investigate what happened 2 years ago in a town called Painscreek of the murder of Vivian Roberts. I was there when it happened. The body had been placed in front of the mansion gates for everyone to see. A few days later, Scott Brooks was apprehended as a suspect. However, there wasn't enough evidence and he was soon released. 18 months later, the police filed Vivian's case as unsolved. I've tried to forget everything, but I just can't, and I simply want to know the truth. I've enclosed a copy of the threat letter that Vivian received the day that she died, and I hope that it helps. For safety purposes, I would like to remain anonymous at this time, and I would give you the first payment in good faith that you will agree to my offer. When the case is solved, I will pass you the rest of the payment. Sincerely, Anonymous. I know what you did. Meet me by the well at midnight. You know which one. Come alone. Got it. Okay. I'm gonna make a massive leap in logic right here. We have only seen one typewriter. Okay, so this font, if you don't know, is commonly known as American Typewriter. It is called that because it is the type of generic font that a typewriter makes. The thing is that I am very fluent with this font. You know, it's like the name that I go by, you know, comes from a font. I like naming characters in my stories after fonts, so it's like I'm rather fluent in this one. What else is in there? Date of birth 45. Well, okay, I'm gonna deal with that in a second. I don't think I checked any of the glove compartments. It's locked. Secret lies with her. That was the name of the achievement, and that's what's written on the back. Okay. I'm gonna guess that that's Sophia. I'm gonna read that book in a second. I know something very specific, and I'm probably sure that I might have a little bit more information than you're supposed to at this point. So, if you remember, this is the Tyler household. Inside here is a typewriter. Let me quickly double check something. I'm trying to get in like really close. Dear Father, how's everything going? That is all the confirmation I needed. The E is raised. So if you'll notice, it goes, and then the E is faulty, which makes it go up a little bit. Normally what you would do is you would, okay, so I'm gonna correct myself before I even start. Uh, because I got confused between the internals of a piano and a typewriter. It makes a lot of sense if you actually seen the inside of them. But the way that it works is that you rebend all of them back into place, so like they're all flush with the down position effectively. And when they go up, if they are like even like the tiniest little bit out of alignment, they strike at like weird angles. Be- and one of the things that occurs because of this is that it means that typewriters have a fingerprint almost. And you could basically match up certain typewriters to other typewriters if you can basically type out the exact same letters and see how they're kind of wavered. It's a fascinating thing, and I've always been like really interested in that type of stuff. And from the looks of it, Derek's typewriter does not have that problem with the E. Now, at first, it being on a typewriter makes me wary of him being the new prime suspect, because he's close with Trisha. He's always defending her. Scott gets a little bit too close, and then Derek kills the mom. It's like suddenly like the logic doesn't make too much sense. But that's where like I was really interested in the logic. Wonder why he would just have this knife sitting out. But yeah, I needed to come back in to see. Because either this typewriter is the biggest clue that it's Derek, or the E being normal on the word everything is the hint that Derek's typewriter was in fact not used for the letter. I kind of want to go back to the house, sorry, the manor, to check to see if there was a typewriter in the building at all, but no. I think like that part of the ship is kind of sailed. Like anyone could basically get a typewriter and like type it out, but if we do see a secondary typewriter and that typewriter is and that typewriter has a letter into it and the E on that one is raised, it means that uh, Derek's typewriter that you can see earlier into the game probably was the red herring to point you in that direction. Finally, we're going to check the glove compartment of this car. Okay, so all three of those can be unlocked. So I mentioned at the beginning of this that the reason why I even played this game in the first place is because of a channel called Vote for Holt. As I after I bought the game, they actually uploaded to they actually put onto the news tab for the game Holt's video. Actually, I forget what his actual name is. And so, like, they actually put, like, a link to that video on their stuff. Since I reached Act 1, which I'm probably gonna finally finish up watching that video. Sorry, as I'm, like, editing this down into a manageable video experience. And I feel like that's a wrap for right now. My computer is screaming at me to stop playing the game. My GPU is about to catch on fire. But yeah, I'll see all y'all for Act 2 at some point. Probably after this video goes up. And again, I know where Act 2 ends, and then I could get to Act 2 and then finish up the game, which is Act 3. But I'm gonna wait until this video is edited and out to do that. So I'll see all y'all next time. Goodbye. Hey, this is editing AG here. I completely forgot to actually read Stephen Moss's diary, so let's just do that really quick. 1997 1. Okay, I guess that there's going to be a second 1997 journal. March. Investigation process is slow. I tried to reach people, but many of them have left Painscreek, and those who still remain are starting to move out. I found some evidence showing that things aren't what they seem. The media didn't have it right. I need to interview some people who worked at the mansion. I've been too wary, haven't reached out yet. Matthew seems to be Scott's legal parent, still won't talk to him yet. I'll have to visit St. Patrick's Orphanage tomorrow. It's a day's drive from here. I know Scott found something there. Something not quite right with all this. Vivian married Charles in 1971. After the marriage, she became vice president of the Roberts Mining Company. It went into a slump after the mining accident in 1973, but her resilience to not give up led to her rebuilding the company from the ground up. Wasn't expecting to actually pull my notes out. Probably should have anticipated that. Let me just do that really quickly. She supported the local businesses such as the community hospital to revitalize the small village. Looks like she's publicly very active. Too active? Question mark. She was taken to the Painscreek Community Hospital for an emergency operation in 1974. Trisha Roberts was born just before that. Yeah. Vivian was hospitalized for a few months. She was very reliant on Dr. Henry Johnson during that period. Security room in the mansion, 025241. Okay, so we have our key. Considering that that is the only real key that we have next, because we have the key card that's not going to work, we have the AOL password that we don't have a way to input that, and not quite sure what the darts puzzle is indicating. Might have to wait on that. But what we do have, the interesting thing is, I already put away the notes, whatever. Is that this is the 30th. And I'm pretty sure that Stephen Moss goes missing shortly after that. So what probably happened is that Stephen Moss quickly to like jot it down, finds the security password for the password for the security room, and then goes missing. And that's why it's written on a blank piece of paper randomly in the book. He also has a bloody handprint on his glove compartment, which makes me wonder that whatever he put into there was basically his like last will and testament. So this is what my mindset is. Since I already talked about my mindset with the, it's probably going on with the Derek, I might as well talk about this part too. I think the reason why Moss hasn't been found is because he's still in here. I think Stephen Moss is dead inside of his room. He has been missing since the 4th. And it makes me think that he was paying diligently. He just suddenly went missing. So yeah, that's where my mindset is right now. We are going to see how well that shakes out. Anyway, I've always said the exit. This is just like an attack onto the end. But yeah. So you're in Act 2, everybody.